Hi, this is Chazz Palminteri. Welcome to the Chazz Palminteri podcast. And we're having a lot of fun here. Old school again today. I like to combine old school with famous. Yeah, you know, some guys that are famous are old school. Some guys that are old school are famous. I like to say, before I do a little housekeeping things, we're approaching 20,000 subscribers. And as soon as we hit that number, I'm going to give away 5 vintage style posters like this, 5 of them, to some of the subscribers. I'm going to pick a few. I like to get the comments, you know. You have any questions on Neighborhood Logic episode? If you have any questions, you put Chazz Palminteri Show at gmail.com. Chazz Palminteri Show at gmail.com. You want to see my one-man show? Go to chazzpalminteri.net and you'll see my one-man show. Also, I'm selling, I sell merchandise at the show, and you can buy it online now. A Bronx Tale hats with "Now You Can't Leave" and "The Saddest Thing in Life Is Wasted Talent" behind that. What else we got? We got T-shirts here, A Bronx Tale, and "Saddest Thing in Life Is Wasted Talent." Also hoodies, black hoodies, really great quality hoodies. A Bronx Tale with "Now You Can't Leave." They just love that "Now You Can't Leave." This is all, I did this because of all the requests I got by so many people. So check it out, chazzpalminteri.net. I'm very excited today because we have a gentleman that I know for 30 years. And he played Bobby Bars in A Bronx Tale, the movie. And he was terrific in it. And, son of a bitch looks the same now. He's got a little gray hair. Yeah. But he still works all over, and I'd like you to meet Al Sauchelli. Al,
thank you, Chazz. Thank you very much.
No, it's good to have you here. And obviously, you're an actor, but you're old school too, wouldn't you say?
Old school as they come.
Old school as they come. Now, you have, obviously, you're married with Lisa, and you have 4 boys.
And a girl.
That's right, I forgot.
My favorite. She's my favorite daughter.
Now, you know that your daughter can get away with shit your boys cannot get away with.
Man, no, I was tougher on my daughter.
Really?
Yeah. And I heard it from all of them down the line. Well, I couldn't do that. And then the next one wants to tell me how to parent with the next one. I got away with that. And then the last one just comes and goes as he pleases. That's what they tell me. I could never do that. And then they conspire against me. They'll say, yeah, right, Dad hit us this, Dad did that, Dad did this. Dad. Yeah, but Joseph's the baby. He's the spoiler. My daughter, very difficult girl. I was difficult with her. She's a sweetheart of a girl. I said that wrong.
Right.
And she was an angel, that kid. I'll be honest with you.
Wow. 4 boys and 1 girl. I didn't even want to know what your grocery bills were like.
Grocery bill, college bill, you name it, bill.
Now, when you went to the grocery store, how many carts you had filled?
2. Yeah.
2 full carts.
Absolutely 2.
How the hell did they do it? I don't understand how they did it.
And the best thing is there's nothing to eat.
They always say that.
Nothing to eat. And then they'd open the Frigidaire, like my father would say. They look, they close it. They look, they close it. My father would say, may he rest, when those things move from one shelf to the next, let me know. You know.
Now, Al, were you an actor when we did Bronx Tale?
No, I was not. No.
So run us through that. How did you get the part on A Bronx Tale?
Okay, here's real quick, because I know
No, we're good. Don't worry about it.
Being an old school guy, I was hanging around one night with a dear friend of mine, Carl, and we're in a place in Hackensack, New Jersey,
right.
and little Albert's there. I could say the names. Little Albert, his cousin, longshoreman, and he's telling my friend about a movie.
Right.
And I'm listening. I'm not speaking. I'm listening, and he's going, woman, about the Bobby. He's going, Bobby, he's making this movie about the Bronx. He's going, Bobby who? He's going, I don't want to say his names, but
you can say Bobby.
He goes, Bobby. He's going, Bobby Irish. He's going, who's Bobby Irish who? He's going,
right.
Milk. About the Bronx Tale. So I'm listening. I ain't saying a word.
Right.
So we dismissed that night. We leave. I said, who's he talking about? He was banged up, thinking he's telling a tale. About 2 days later, my friend calls me up. He says, we got to go to Staten Island and see this guy. I said, about what? Thought we were in trouble or something.
Right.
He says, no, you remember the thing Albert was talking about? We got to go see this guy, Clem. Great guy. Was a very good friend of De Niro's at the time.
Right.
And we got to go see Clem, this gentleman, Clem. And we go see him, and he okays us to go for the tryout. We had to go through Clem at that time, whatever it was. And I hope he's doing well anyway. And I went. And then I auditioned for Joe Greenberg, and then I made it up to the office with you and Bob, and and I saw Ralphie. When I'll never forget that, I looked up on the thing, he was singing, and I'm saying to he had Tommy Moriello was with him and Petey Riddler, and I'm looking, I said, oh my God, they got real guys in this movie. Holy moly, you know. And he was on the audition. If I'm giving you the short story, but that's how I got involved.
That's how you got involved
in the in the acting business.
And I remember when you came in, we asked you a couple of questions, and we asked you where you grew up, and you told us, but you were the real deal.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because Bobby, it was very important for Bob and myself that we wanted real guys that knew about the Italian culture, that knew about what it was like to be old school, that knew about growing up in a neighborhood,
And you say about the old school, I was born in Newark and grew up in Bloomfield, New Jersey, a block away from Newark. My family had a big, famous restaurant. Anybody from Newark that sees this, the name of his restaurant was Biazzi's Restaurant. Biazzi's. It was like your Gino's.
Right.
And I stood in that restaurant with my grandmother from a young boy up until the job that I have today. And you'll always learn, shh, mind your business, don't say nothing.
Right.
Children should be seen and not, and I learned that. I watched my grandfather in action. Cast of characters like your neighborhood had. This restaurant had a cast of characters. I remember one time, I'm a kid, and I hear my grandmother and her brothers talking. They say, the plumber's coming. He's going to have a meeting. So I'm listening. They start making a big commotion. They said, put him in the Rose room. That was my grandmother's name, Rose. They had a room, was her room. Right. She says, Alfred, go in there, start cleaning the brass, doing this, doing that. And really a commotion's being made. And I says, Grandma, what, this man, he's a plus. She says, mind your business. She says, there was Sam the plumber. I don't know if you ever heard of Sam the plumber. He has the Cavalcanti. Yeah. So that's, and from that time, mind your business, keep your mouth quiet. And I learned that. And that night when I heard Albert talking to Carl about the movie, I didn't say a word, but my ear was tuned in. Right. And when he said, Bob, I thought we were a little charged up in them days drinking. I'm saying, Bob, who's he talking? And when he says, he goes, De Niro's man. I said, oh, whoa. And that's, but you learn that. You learn that as a young age.
You learn that, yes.
You learn that as a young age, and hopefully it sticks. And I learned a lot of things from that restaurant and from my family.
Oh, that's right. Having a restaurant, you just meet so many people. Shameless plug I'm about to give right now. I have 2 restaurants.
Yes, you do.
Chazz Palminteri's, one in White Plains and one in Manhattan. Both great restaurants.
And mention Alfred's name, and you'll get a nice reservation and a good table.
That's right. You get a wine. You get a glass of wine on that.
Yeah, there you
Remember
go.
That commercial?
Yes.
Anyway, but also, how long did you work in a restaurant, Al?
Oh, I started in that restaurant when I was about 8, 9 years old, hanging around with my grandmother, and I worked there till I was 17. Till I went and drive.
Are you kidding? That long?
Yeah, and then until I drive the newspaper truck. Now that's
so
where I work.
you grew up old school working. You worked.
Absolutely.
You worked.
And then in the business I went in. I deliver news. God bless the NMDU newspaper business. My first night, I worked in a Jersey company, but I'm going over to the New York Times. My 21st birthday, and this is the advice my grandfather gives me. He says, kid, over here, keep your mouth shut and your eyes open, because if you step by the line, you wind up in the river. And that, my right hand, my 5 kids, that was the advice he gave me on my first night going to this paper.
Wow.
So you just learned that. You just learned how to just not overstep your bounds. Even when I came around the acting business, that I was very fortunate. I saw guys, they want to tell him how to act. They want to tell the lighting guy what to do. They want to tell the director to direct. Stand there, mind your business, and perform when they say go. Period.
That's it. Have some respect and perform.
No question.
That's
no
right.
question.
I mean, I remember the time when we were shooting the scene. You remember the scene when I get killed?
Absolutely.
And everybody's running to grab, I forgot his name, the guy who killed me, Phil. And everybody's running, and you were running, and I turned to you, because you and I got along right away, and I said, stay over here. Don't worry about it. The camera's going to come back here. Stay in this position.
And it sure did.
And it sure did.
That's my claim to fame. Yeah. How many people, how many actors you worked with, and you worked with them all, could say they caught you when you got shot in the head? Not
That's
many.
Right. You're the one who caught me.
I think I might have the only one.
Yeah, but you know, Al, not only did you do Bronx Tale, you did a lot of stuff. You were on Law and Order. What else?
Did Analyze This, Analyze That.
Analyze That, both movies.
Yeah, I was Momo in those movies. I just was The Irishman. I played Al.
You played
the trucking
Al
company in The Irishman.
That's right.
And,
I mean, you've done a lot of stuff, man.
You know,
I caught
very fortunate.
The commercial.
Oh,
come on.
God.
What kind of flack did you get from that commercial?
Well, it was done in London, England, and it was for Heinz mayonnaise. And you could Google Heinz mayonnaise. Go to Netflix or not Netflix, whatever those things on a computer.
YouTube.
Thank you, YouTube.
Right.
And I go over to London to do this commercial, and I wind up. I'll tell you, I wind up kissing the guy at the end. I'm like, the mother. You have to see the commercial.
Did you know you had to kiss him?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So we're in London. This is a true story. We're in London, and I'm behind a counter just like this. And the director, I think his name was David Gray, New York guy. He said, okay, now we're going to get ready to shoot. We did the walkthrough and this and that. And he says to me, he said, this time when we go to camera, give him a kiss. Just give him a kiss. I said, well, like on the cheek? He says, no, a little more than the cheek, like on the lips. Oh, yeah? Okay. So now the girl, I'll never forget it. She's holding the boom mic up onto the guy. Look, I said, sweetheart, what time is it in the States? She don't answer me. She's not going to say that. Anybody got the time in the States? Because somebody better get my agent on the phone, and I get another $10,000 for this kiss. Now, they laughed, but I kissed them. Googled the commercial. They pulled it off. This was quite a few years ago because they said about gay stuff and all this kind of business. But
he's a tough guy. All of a sudden, the guy says you got to kiss him.
Yeah, and I can't. But with thespians.
But you did it with class.
Thank you. Because what up with thespians?
With thespians.
Got to be a thespian when they ask you to be a thespian.
You said I'll do it. No tongue. You said no tongue.
No tongue. No, I can draw the line.
Draw the line on
Draw the line.
That's right. You draw the line on it.
Draw the line.
You did it. And you know what? That commercial was big.
I made good paper with that, but they pulled it off because I don't remember how many years ago it was. But there was, gays and mayonnaise and so they pulled it, and
I thought it was in very good taste. I really did.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was a great commercial.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring it back to respect for a second, because off camera I said there's no respect left in the world, and you gave me some advice.
You said because of the internet or whatever these things are. I'm still a flip phone guy. I'm a flip phone guy, and if I got to Chazz's house today with directions that I wrote on a piece of paper. Not many people do that, and I have it in my pocket to prove it. Right here. Here's the directions. You think I'm kidding you? There they are, and there's the phone, the flip phone. Anyway, respect.
Flip phone.
Flip phone. Ben on TV. Phone. Mysteries of Laura.
And here's the directions.
And there's the directions.
You believe this shit?
And if they blew out the window, I was in trouble coming here.
This is old school. Old school.
The gospel truth.
Old school. Here it is, right
here. But, people talk about respect and this and that. And I have kids that are 26, Chazz said, and I have them at that age. But I feel it all starts at the kitchen table. I've been saying this for many, 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 many years. And what do I mean by the kitchen table? Well, you take young children, you put them in a nursery school, all colors, all faith, doesn't matter, and they all play. And then we grow up to hate. We grow up with entitlement. We're better than them. You don't have to say thank you to them because they're beneath us. He's a truck driver. We're better. We live on the block. I own the trucking company. Where does that start? It starts at the kitchen table, because that's what I hate that book, that him, he's that, and that's where it all starts.
Wow.
Because I raised my children on a simple thing. I says there's a couple of things. You can't buy it, you can't lease it, and you can't get it off a rack. You got to be born with it. You could have all the money in the world, live in houses, forget it, have cars, Rolls Royces for 7 days a week and 2 on Sunday, the best clothes in the world. If you don't have it in you, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And be thankful for what you got.
I agree with that. I believe that you raise good people or bad people. Good kids or bad kids. I mean, you teach them. You teach them how to be morally like a good person. I think it's better to be morally good than it is to be talented and brilliant. Because if you're morally good, life will be kind to you.
Yes, sir. Well, and another thing I learned in that restaurant, my grandmother used to say to me, she used to say, Alfred, a kind word goes a long way. Please, thank you. And it's so true, my friend, and you know this. Please and thank you will take you further than money could take you at certain times. Not all the time.
No, it's true.
It could get your thing moved to the top, get you a table in a restaurant. Please and thank you. And you never know. It's kind word to people. You never know what kind of day they're having. Hey, thank you very much. Hey, how you doing? Everything's good? You better have to know them. There could be a stranger in the street.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just the way I am. And that is the way I am.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I actually have a question for both of you. What's the hardest part about being a father?
You can go first. I'll follow you.
All right, I'll go. The hardest part about being a father is that everything you do, everything you say. Sometimes I'm not the perfect person, and sometimes I regret. Sometimes if I did something wrong in front of my children, I go, damn it, why did I do that? Not something seriously wrong, but it's like you have to realize that everything you do is their memory for life. The way you treat your wife is the way they will treat their wives, and the way they treat their women. The way I treat my daughters, the way she'll expect men to treat her. I treat them with respect and kindness, and I love my children. I love my children more than life itself. And I want to teach them to be morally good people. That's the most important thing to me. I'm very blessed. My son Dante went to one of the great schools in college, graduated. My daughter is going to one of the great colleges. But even if they didn't go to a great college, I don't care. I don't care what you want to do. I don't care if you want to be a forest ranger. Just be the best forest ranger and be a good person. So to me, it's always trying to set that bar high for myself so they could see, they could look at me for an example. That's why.
Pretty much, exactly. And there's no book. There's no book in parenting, and you have to do what's right at the time. He has 2 children. I have 5. You have to change in midstream. Every child is different. You have to deal with every child differently.
Yeah.
Made 1,000 mistakes. And my father used to say something to me. Boy, did it come back to me. He used to say to me, son, you're not going to realize till you're a father. And boy, those true words.
Yes.
They are true words. And again, one boy you could be rough with, another one you can't, and you get that, well, you did this, and I made a ton of mistakes. And I tell them when they remind me of it, I say, well, I hope you do a better job when you're a father, because I did the best I could. Right. But like Chazz says, if you shovel, if you're a garbage man, if you work in the circus, nothing wrong with a garbage, a truck driver like myself, be a good citizen, be a good person in your heart, no matter what you do, and do it the best you can.
Right. If you got nothing nice to say about someone, keep your fucking mouth shut.
Say nothing. That's another thing I heard in that restaurant. Say nothing at all. Exactly
really,
right.
You say something, and it's like, why did this guy go out of his way to say that?
It's hard.
It's hard. But I had to, because people gossip, they talk. And believe me, we're all guilty of it at times, but I try to control myself and say, shut the fuck up, Chazz. Shut up. I had a guy that came over to me once I was at an art show, and I was with all these people who were looking at this beautiful art. And this guy, a very distinguished man, came over to me and said, oh, Chazz Palminteri, I love the movie. What was the movie? He said, Mulholland Falls. I love that movie. He goes, but then that movie, Jade, that movie sucked. And I just looked at him. And there were people there, and they kind of were taken back by it. I said, excuse me, did you come all the way over here to tell me that? You started off that you loved the first one. Why do you have to say the other one sucked? I said, do you have a brain in your fucking head? I had to embarrass him.
Good for you.
I embarrassed him in front of people because I said, if you're going to embarrass me or think you can, I'm going to have to embarrass you. But how stupid is that to say things?
You get people, they just say things. So I would have said to that gentleman, well, you're right. But hopefully the next movie you do is better than the one I did.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Matter of fact, what's your last movie you did?
Right.
And I pity people like that because they didn't grow up the way we grew up. He might have grown up with entitlement, thinking he could say that.
Yeah.
At his kitchen table. You can tell somebody. Well, no, you really can't, because when somebody comes back at you like that, or maybe somebody cracks you in the face, don't be so shocked.
Right.
You get what you give in this life.
Right. I called him on it, and he was like stunned. But I always say, if you got the balls to say that to me, then I got the balls to say something to you. Then.
Game on.
Game on.
You opened the door.
I wanted to say, listen, you're not my friend.
Right.
My friends could say that to me.
Correct.
My friends could break my balls like that. But I don't know you. You haven't earned that privilege to talk to me like that. Okay?
Correct.
So do me a favor, turn around before I give you a kick up your ass and get the fuck out of here.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. I totally agree with that, man. Absolutely. I mean, do you feel, Al, do any of your kids want to be in the business, acting or nothing?
Nah, they really.
You're blessed. That's
yeah,
good.
no.
No, that's good.
No.
Yeah.
One's an electrician. No.
And let me tell you something about electricians, plumbers. There is a shortage of these people today. They're making more money than all these people with degrees that when they take them, they hang on the wall and they don't have a job.
When the plumber pulls up in a 500 SL, I'm going to say, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the truth. Or your landscaper. Do I have to tell you?
My landscaper pulled up in a 500 SL Mercedes. I said, oh, I'm fucked.
I'm telling you, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, that's... But I tell the young people out there, you know, college is great, but you don't have to go to college to make money.
No.
Especially, you could be a landscaper, you could be an electrician, plumber, a bricklayer, forget it.
Yes.
A stonemason, there are none of them left.
So it's a gone art. It's a gone trade.
And they are making a fortune today. A fortune, I'm telling you. People, they should have more colleges where people work with their hands. Man.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, so I don't understand that.
So did you have any run-ins with wise guys or like organized crime in Jersey?
Oh, no. No.
Not that he wants to talk about.
No, I'm a straight shooter. No. Listen, it was all around. It was all around, different times. My grandfather, let him rest it. You saw that all the time in the restaurant. But you knew, a matter of fact, real quick, I stood with a cousin of mine when I was about 10 years old. He used to take me around. His name was Nicky Jack. Anybody from Newark wouldn't remember him. Because I was a little rough, and my mother put me with him. And he was a serious kind of guy, okay? And I would go to him and go around with him, actually. He would take me, and he'd stop in Max's Tavern, which is gone. He would stop in Larry's Lounge. Anybody from Newark, I said, they know these places. And he was this big. But if he came looking for you, you had a problem. You had a major league problem. Nicky Jack Angelo was his name. And I used to sit there and he'd drink your soda, he would say. And I went around with him for a long time, but I learned. I saw, did I have him? No. No, I'm pretty much a non-confrontational guy. Maybe once or twice, but you try to block those things out sometimes, you know what I mean? But
now, how long have you been married, Al?
I am going on, let me get this right, 28 years, October 23rd. Wow, I think it's 28 years. I wish I would have met her sooner because I would have married her sooner.
Whoa, what a nice
All right,
day.
how's that?
Oh, and she's...
Okay.
Oh, I wish I would have met her sooner because I would have... Let me tell you something. I got to steal that one because my wife would love to hear that. I wish I would have met her sooner because I would have married her sooner. Now, this is a man here. Okay. Did you have any trepidations about getting married, Al?
No,
you were young, right?
No, I was 32 when I met her when we were doing Bronx Tale, and I was ready. I got married. I met a little later, 32 years old.
Right.
And but at that time in my life, I did a lot up to 32.
Right.
Ralphie talks about the club, the Riddlers.
Right.
I sang on that stage.
Oh,
absolutely, absolutely. So when I got married, I was ready to make my family because all the other stuff was kind of behind me. I don't want to go out no more. So I was ready to raise the family and get married.
Wow.
So
it was a good time in your life.
Oh, it was a good time.
And you made a good choice with Lisa.
Yes, thank you.
Good woman.
Thank you very much.
She's a solid woman, good woman. I mean, who was the disciplinarian, you or her?
Well, her, she was tough. She used to say, you can't be their friend. You got to be their friend. But I disagree with that to a certain extent because each kid is different.
Yes.
Each kid is different. It's not might is right. Man, my father would say, might is right. And not feel, not all the time.
Not all the time.
One kid you could crack and the other one you got to talk to.
Crack.
Kids today, you got to be one of my kids. I say, why don't you take a walk off, go play in traffic. I say that to another one of my kids, maybe. Tell me to go kill myself. You got to put him in therapy. You know what I mean? Right. So, but she was a disciplinarian, and she did a very good job with it. By the way, I got to say the truth.
She did. You have great kids.
Thank you.
They're good kids.
Thank you very much.
And nothing's better than having good kids.
It's a reflection.
Nothing is better, and nothing is the biggest heartache than having bad kids. And I've seen people who had bad kids, and
my heart goes to them too.
My heart goes to them.
And you do all the right. You think you do it right, and just sometimes you just can't get it right, no matter what you do.
And sometimes it's just, I don't know. They say it's pot luck sometimes, but I think you got to bring them up the right way to kind of even the odds a little bit.
No question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, do you have anything coming up now? Or you
no, I've been on a little hold for a few. The agent called me actually yesterday, believe it or not, but I'm ready to get back out there.
You're ready to get back out?
Ready to go. We should do something. You and I.
Something together.
Absolutely.
Well, you know that. I'm always looking out for you.
Absolutely, you always did.
Yeah, always. I
always
always
did.
will. I mean, that's. I always tell people, here's a perfect example of a guy. Came into the business late, came into the business as an actor, and because not only of his talent, but because he's such a great guy and so respectful, people look for parts to put him in. If I have nothing, I'm looking to put him in something, because right out. Business is very small. If you're an asshole, people find out about it.
And it travels, and it travels, and it's a very small business. And when you have a certain look, you could only play certain parts, you know. And
sure.
what do they call that? Stereotype, the typecast.
Typecasting, yeah.
So, you know, it's you just got to hang in there. And
But when you're right for the part, you're right for the
you
part.
always said that. When you're right, you're right. People would say to me, well, why don't you call your friend Chazz, have him put you in the movie business? And I would say to them, the day he calls me and says, Al, can you get me driving a paper truck? I'm going to say, now you just opened the door. Put me in a movie. Because we don't do them things. He's my friend. Right. He knows my talent. He knows what I could do, what I can't do. Right. And that's how it goes.
People just think it's so easy to do that.
You know, and I remember what you said right in the beginning. We were on Bronx Tale maybe a couple of weeks. You remember we had that dinner in the apartment? There were all the guys. They made a little dinner for you. Yeah. And you were saying, and it sticks in my brain, I'm going to make it short. You were saying, when I was doing good, I had everybody around me. Then I hit a bad streak, and I didn't hear from nobody. When I was out in L.A., you might have been. I'm not going to tell you a story. But,
that's all right.
And you were struggling. And like you didn't hear from nobody when you were down on your luck, you know. And then all of a sudden, Bronx Tale hits. And I'm listening to you at that dinner. Right. And you see all of a sudden, Bronx Tale hits, and now my phone starts to ring. And they don't say, hey, Chazz, how's your mom? How's your dad?
Right.
Guys, hey, Chazz, how are you?
Right.
Hey, wow, you're doing a movie? Can you give me a part? Can you got anything for me? And I remember say,
oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Where were those guys when I was down on my luck?
Where were they?
Do you remember that dinner we had in the apartment?
Yeah,
and that stuck in my brain for 30 years that I know you, because that's, first of all, it's not my makeup, but I always call you, how's your feet? Well, you know what I say.
Look, you know, I grew up with a lot of great guys, and some of them, obviously, you came to my dinners. I'm still great friends with them.
Absolutely.
Some of the guys I grew up, but obviously I kind of pushed away because you had to, because it was just different. You know, some guys were happy for me, and some guys were not happy for me.
Jealousy.
Jealousy. That's the Italian
bad
thing.
disease. Bad disease.
You know, it's like it's not that they don't want you to do good. They don't want you to do better than them.
Correct.
And which is that's kind of a curse. But listen, we all have our curse things. Italians sometimes we're a little jealous of each other. I'm always happy for other people.
I root for everybody.
I root for everybody because life has 6 billion slices. Like I said before on one of my podcasts, not 6 slices. So, I mean, I think that's why you're a successful man in life. You got homes, 2 homes. You got a beautiful family, a great family, great marriage. You have a career. You have a great life. You have a great life. You're a good person.
Thank you. And so are you.
And I think that goes for the way the man conducts his life. So, like the Bible says, and not that I'm a born-again Christian or anything, but you reap what you sow. You know, you put out shit in the world and shit comes back. You know, your destiny is your character. That's it. People choose their pains and sorrows way before they happen. Way before they happen. So I say to the people out there, choose your pains and sorrows. Don't. Be a good person and life will be good to you. Alfred, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You're old school.
Thank you very much.
You're a real old school man, and I keep trying to have old school guys on the show because God knows that we're all a dying breed, and neighborhoods are not around anymore. So I want to just hold all these old school guys in a time capsule. Thank you so much, guys. I want to thank everybody who watches my podcast. Please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Want to see my one-man show, go to chazzpalminteri.net. And my whole schedule is there for this year, next year. Come to my restaurants. I'm there all the time. Chazz Palminteri's 264 Main Street, White Plains. Chazz Palminteri's in Manhattan, 30 West 46th Street. So God bless you all, and see you soon.